into her senior year. Melina Toth, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
So before we dive into, your senior year and all the things that are going on this year, we have to talk about this Fitch game that you guys won on Tuesday. It was a big win for you guys. Talk about what it meant to this program to beat that Fitch team that you could, neither team could win last year. You got robbed of kind of a chance to win those games. What did it feel like to come out and finally be able to say that you were able to get on top of one of those matchups this time around?
Yeah, like you said, we had them both times last year and we played them. So this year we really wanted to beat them, and we did lose to them the first time we played them this year. But we were able to play at Myrtle Beach and able to get things straight, and it was a lot of fun to just go out there and be able to beat a team that's been unbeatable.
Right, you're navigating that lineup as a pitcher. I'm wondering from a pitcher's perspective what it's like to try to keep your composure and try to, constantly bring your best 1 through 9 in a lineup like that you don't see a lot in high school softball.
Yeah, they're all really great hitters, really good. So you can't make any mistakes and just have to stay focused the entire time.
When we talked to Coach Kernan before the season and we asked what ways you're growing this year, he always talks about the work that you put in on the offensive side. And in that game, especially a big walk, a run scored, the big hit in the sixth to set up Leah Figueroa's big RBI. What kind of work have you been doing with your bat? I know everyone knows you for your arm and you're pitching in the circle, but the offense has gotten even better this year. Talk about the work you've put in to make sure you're a threat on the offensive side of the ball.
Yeah, I didn't really bat my freshman and sophomore year, and so last year I started to bat more, and I really enjoyed it. So this year I really wanted to practice more on that and get good at it. So during the off season, that's what I really worked on a lot was my hitting, and just working with the other girls.
So let's talk about this Fitch team and the roster that it has. Obviously, a lot of returners from last year, but a lot of new faces too that are stepping up big time. What's it been like as a senior leader to see the mixture of familiar faces, but also some new players coming into the varsity fold and doing a lot of big things?
Yeah, well, I'm super excited to be able to play with the seniors on my team this year and the underclassmen coming up. So it's been a lot of fun to be able to play with them this year.
What kind of things have you been doing to try to get the younger players ready for everything that varsity softball entails and all the tough games you guys have? I mean, as senior leaders, it's a good senior class you have. What kind of things have you done to, set up the next generation of Canfield softball per se?
Yeah, definitely just helping, like working them with their hitting. If I see something that maybe I think they could work on, I would try to help them with that. Or like situational things in the field, help them with that. And just being a leader to them because they're going to be the next leaders for Canfield softball. So.
Melina, senior year brings a lot of emotions. It's the last time you're doing a lot of things that you're playing. The last time, against a lot of these opponents that you're playing. How have you been handling all the emotions that senior year brings?
Yeah, it's definitely a little scary trying to like going to college next year, but knowing that I'm going to be playing softball in college has helped a lot. I don't have to say like goodbye to the sport right away, but I've just been enjoying it, having a lot of fun.
Has it sunk in that you're a senior yet? Because it feels like you since you've been playing since a freshman, that you've been at Canfield forever at this point. Has
Mhm.
it sunk in yet that it is your senior year and it's the last go around?
Yeah, it's really starting to now, especially because it's the last semester of school.
How has the senior year affected that last semester of school? And the are you falling for senioritis a little bit?
I'm starting to a little bit.
When you think of all the things that you've already accomplished, is there anything possibly left on that goal board for your personal thing? We'll get to the team goals in a minute, but just you personally that you want to achieve before you graduate Canfield?
Definitely just making a mark for Canfield softball, like and for the community and for the school. I know that, like there was some school records I could like potentially go for, so just working hard to try and achieve those.
And then when we talk about this team, obviously you got to the last game last year. You didn't win that last,
Mhm.
but you got to that last game, the game that everyone wants to get to. How hungry has that made you to get right back to a state championship and turn that result around this year?
Yeah, big team goal is definitely be able to make it back to the state championship and being able to finish it this time. We were there last year, so we can be more prepared for this year and hopefully just be able to finish it this time.
How long did it take from the after that state championship for you to just have that drive to say, I'm getting right back to it? I mean, like obviously there was the raw emotions that you felt after losing it, but when did that competitive edge take over to say, okay, we lost it, I'm getting right back to it?
Yeah, I definitely say right away. I just remember like the bus ride home after losing. Like I was already thinking about next year, like how to prepare and how to be better and how to get back there.
With that as a goal that's right in your face on the horizon, how do you also balance that with trying to take everything one game at a time and realizing there's a long season before you get to that point?
Yeah, it's definitely difficult because we don't want to try to jump ahead too much. So just trying to take everything slow paced and focus on the game that we're playing that day or that practice. Just making sure that we're just ready for every game before like the state championship.
For people that haven't been following your career, or maybe they're watching this and learning about you for the first time, I don't know where they've been, but where are you playing next year for softball? Let those new fans know where you'll be continuing your career. I don't want to take that thunder away from you.
Yeah, so I'm going to be playing at the University of Buffalo up in New York.
In the MAC with the
Hmm.
big boys. What made that a decision? Because a lot of people hear Buffalo and think, well, your weather's going to be even worse than it is now. A lot of people want to escape the Northeast Ohio weather. So I'm interested in wanting to know what was it about Buffalo that made that decision so easy.
Yeah, I definitely liked how I was able to get away from home. It's 3 hours away, but it's also not too far. I can come home if I wanted to in one day and go back. And I actually don't like playing in the heat. So I didn't want to go down south, but I felt like Buffalo was a good place for me. Just really like the coaches and the environment, and the school is great.
So you're more of a cold weather softball fan, right?
Yeah.
When you think of the things that you're most excited about getting into that next level and kind of testing yourself even more, because obviously there's a big jump between high school and college softball. What excites you the most about taking that next step in your career?
Yeah, I'm excited to see how well I can compete with all the college players. I know it's a whole different like thing up there. Their batters are much more. They're better at pitch selection and all that. So just seeing if I'm able to compete with them right away.
Have you thought about how to tackle going from someone who's a senior and a leader to all of a sudden starting back at zero and saying you're a freshman again and you have to earn all the stuff that you get right when you're in Buffalo? Have you thought about like what that's going to entail and how you plan to tackle that?
Yeah, I've thought about it a little bit how I have to go in there and just restart. I have to fight for my spot once I get in there. I won't just be handed it right away.
Let's talk about your coaching staff here at Canfield and how much they're preparing you for being coached at the next level. Obviously, Coach Kernan has a little bit of experience in the college ranks. What's it been like to be coached by him, obviously, for another year? And how has he helped you, grow as a softball player and as a person?
Yeah, he's helped me grow, and I know he's helped a lot of the girls on the team grow. We'll be at practice, and he'll just say like, if he'll be like, "Oh, well, your college coach let that slide," and like, it's just like he like prepares us for the next level. So he's just really good in that aspect, and it's just really nice to have a good like communication with him. And yeah.
With Canfield and travel and now going to Buffalo, you're obviously going to be coached by a lot of different people in your life. How's that helped you to be, exposed to different coaching philosophies, different ways of looking at things, and just different ways to be coached?
Yeah, it's nice to be coached different ways. Every coach has like their own way, but just comparing their coaching styles and adding a little bit from each coach has really made me a good player.
When you think of like a perfect coach philosophy that fits your personality and the way that you respond to most, because everyone responds to different style of coaching and everyone needs to be coached differently. What kind of a coach gets the best out of you, do you think? What kind of style gets the most going for you?
Yeah, I definitely would like them to be a little hard on me, push me a little bit because I know in college that's how my coach is going to be. He's not going to be like laid back.
All right, so let's talk about graduating Canfield and looking back on all the experiences you've had, not just on the softball field, but in the school system. You start to get a sense of pride a little bit for Canfield. What makes you so proud that you've been able to represent this school and this community over the last 4 years?
Yeah, I've grown up in Canfield my entire life, so it just feels really cool to be able to represent them. And I just hope to be able to come back and watch some of their games next year.
What's going to be like the one thing you miss the most about this area and this community?
Definitely just like all the people in my grade and especially my friends. I'm definitely gonna miss them a lot. Growing up with them, so.
When you go off to college, you're going to be playing with a bunch of people from different places, different walks of life. They're all going to bring something that makes them unique from wherever they're from. What do you think is going to be something that is going to be unique to you because you're from Canfield? So, what kind of things are you going to be taking to Buffalo that say, I'm this way because I grew up in Canfield?
Um, I'm not really sure about that one. Probably just like living in the Youngstown area, like just being able to like share like stories from that.
When you think of, all the memories that you've made with not just the softball team, but this, school and this community, what are some of your favorites? What are some of the things that really stick out that you're not going to forget anytime soon about, the memories you've made at Canfield?
Yeah, definitely our spring break Myrtle trips. We went last year and again this year. Those were a lot of fun and it's a great team bonding. And then this year the seniors took a trip to New York and that was a lot of fun. So I'll definitely remember that for a long time.
All right, so let's have some fun with you with some rapid fire questions because this is our last player profile with you before you graduate. Tears. When you think of other positions you could play, obviously you're a pitcher, but what is in a position that you've never played before that you watch and you think, man, I would like to try to play that position if I ever got the opportunity to.
Definitely catcher because that's the one position I never played, and I feel like it would be really cool to see how it is like on the other side of the plate. And I mean, I'm constantly pitching to my catcher, and I feel like it would be cool to like see like her point of view and like that.
When in the social media world right now, one of the trends is softball, and I've asked all the softball players this so far, is lining every player up that's not a pitcher, having them pitch, and then the audience has to guess who's the pitcher. Obviously, you would be in there as well, and then it'd be kind of a blind thing. What non-pitcher on your team do you think could sell being a pitcher the most and make that a hard thing for the audience to decipher who the pitcher is?
I would probably say Macy Kalina. She's very athletic, and she actually has like during practice, just like when I'm pitching, she would just go next to me and like copy my warm up. So I feel like she would do a good job.
Is she, does she do a good job of mimicking your warm up?
Kind of.
Yeah, it's there. We know Coach Kernan is the character, so I'm
Mhm.
wondering what teammate do you think would be the best at trying to impersonate Coach Kernan?
Um, Probably senior Faith Morel. She's really funny, and our coach gives us a joke almost every practice, and she would be really good at that.
When we talk about hitters, we talk about their walk up songs. You're the pitcher, you get a walkout song to the circle. What would that be? What would your walkout song be? The song that emphasizes your personality in the circle.
I'm not sure, but I feel like I would change it up a bit because I feel like it'd be cool to like walk out to like a different song every
Right.
time. We do try to play music in between innings sometimes, so.
Do you think that your walk up song for batting would be different than your walk out song for pitcher? Do you think your personalities or your styles change a little bit when you go from hitting to pitching?
Probably, yeah. I would say they change a little bit.
We talk about the snacks, the dugout snacks a lot with softball players. What's your favorite dugout snack? If you could have one for the rest of your career, and that's all you got to have, what would you pick?
Well, we have a pretty big snack bag in our dugout, and the airheads are pretty popular. I always get upset whenever the red and blue are all gone. So probably the red and blue airheads.
So red and blue airheads. If Melina Toth has one for the rest of her career, that's it. All right. So
Yeah.
Buffalo dugout better have airheads. Um, let's talk about softball icks. That's another big thing in social media right now. There's always something that gets players to a little cringe a little bit when they see it on the softball diamond. What's yours?
Definitely if somebody were to play with their hair down. I don't know. I feel like that's like really weird.
Have you seen it? I've never really seen that.
Not
Is
really
it?
a lot in high school, but in travel, you'll be surprised.
Oof. Um, as a pitcher, do you see a lot of hitters? One of the things that I get is like the bats on the cleats, Like, why are you
Mhm.
treating your bat that way? In
Yeah.
my mind, you're not going to get hits that way.
Mhm.
So let's talk about one last thing before you go, and that's going to be your role models and your support system, because you are one. So you aren't able to become a role model without having one yourself. Talk about the role models you've had, especially early in life, early in your career, that have helped you mold into the role model you are right now.
Yeah, definitely all the coaches that have ever coached me, they got me to the point where I am today, and especially my mom. She's the strongest person I know, and she's just always there supporting me, no matter what's going on.
All right, Melena, before we let you go, we like to give the players the opportunity to thank their support system, take the limelight off themselves and putting on the people in their corner. I'm going to give you the time to do that, as much time as you want, to thank the people around you.
Okay, yeah, I would like to thank all my coaches, my friends, my grandparents, and my parents.
All right, Melena, we thank you so much for taking the time to join us today live on the show. We appreciate it. We wish you the best of luck the rest of the senior season, and we can't wait to talk to you again real soon.
Thank you.